I guess not that long. A lot has happened since last time we spoke. Uh, war stopped, or the ceasefire at least. So not the war stopped. At least they stopped firing rockets at us. The middle of the sleep past couple of days. I was thinking about going bicycling today outside, but I'm not feeling 100%. So so ceasefire, but still can't go biking because a little under the weather. But we'll get there. We'll get there. But no, it's great. Hope everyone had a great Pesach. Um, Hope everyone's still counted the Sphera. That's still important. 8 for those taking score at home last night. That's important. And Baruch Hashem, here we are, Shmini. It's kind of like this, even though we had 2 weeks to kind of prepare for Shmini, um, it kind of jumps up at us because we had Pesach and kind of preparing for the Seder. And we just put our dishes away and put the matzah away. Those people who are Zeicha still have leftover matzah. Very exciting. So here we are. So this Parsha Shmini has a lot to do, I think, with the Sphera. So it's actually very interesting how the weeks align. Shmini always kind of comes at the end of Chesed because Sphera starts with Chesed and goes into Gvura. Shmini kind of sits right there. A lot of different ideas. There's Parsha Shmini and Sphira Omer, for example. Shmini, the eighth day. Eighth day. There's 7 days that Moshe and Aaron preparing the Miluim, Shivs Mehamluim, they're preparing. And the eighth day, which is Rosh Chodesh Nisan, those taking score at home, the Shekhinah comes down. You think about it, the eighth day, why did the Shekhinah come down day one? What's special about the eighth day, sixth day, fifth day, first day? I don't know, maybe 7 days. Only after the seventh day does the Shekhinah come down. Everyone bows down to Hashem. So the idea is kind of tie things together. Is that 7 days represents 7 midos of the world. We'll talk about that in a second. 7 days of the week. Binyan of the world was 7 days. So this idea of 7 days, 7 days before the bris milah, this idea of 7 represents normal, 7 years of Shemitah, 7 weeks of Yovel. Seven's like the normal way of the world. To get to the eighth day, 8 days, Lamal Menateva, Bris Milah is the eighth day. All these things are number 8. Shmini, number 8. And you have to kind of go through 7 to get to 8, obviously, but you can't skip steps. You can't skip steps. You have a baby's 8 pounds. Oh my gosh, the baby can get bris milah. We don't have to leave the hospital. No, gotta wait. Gotta wait to the eighth day. Gotta wait to the eighth day. You have to go through the motions. You gotta do the steps. You gotta prepare yourself to get to number 8, to get to that level. Now, the Siva Shalom has an interesting idea that we have this great high on Pesach. Once we finish cleaning and we're kind of sitting at the Seder and you're with the kids, with the grandkids, and it's fantastic. Saying Davening Hallel. You take the kids you go to the Met game or something, you go to a trip or something, and it's fantastic. And then something really interesting happens. Messiah Shalom says that it fades. We lose this kedusha. We lose this high that we have on Pesach, and we have to work to get it back. And the question is, why is that? Why can't we go from Pesach? Okay, later Shavuos or 8 days. Why is 7 days or 7 weeks of Shavuos? And Messiah Shalom says Pesach was chesed. That was a gift from Hashem. That was a freebie. We had nothing. If we would have stayed there anymore, we would have just been totally gone. So us getting out of Mitzrayim was total chesed from Hashem. But then that's it. You get one present. That's it. You want to get the Torah. You want to be close to Hashem on a permanent basis. You want to have a kesher. You want to learn midos. You want to learn Torah. You got to work for that. There's no freebies in life. The Torah is a inheritance for the Jewish people. But if you don't really learn Torah, it's not part of you. It's not part of you. You can get a nice watch as an inheritance, but you don't wear it. You don't really. It sits in the closet. It doesn't do anything for you. The key is not to get freebies in life. The key is to maintain those levels and to kind of do on your own. My Orinayim has an interesting idea. Is that there's nefila after that high, and that's important. That's important. People fall in life. Sadik falls 7 times and rises up. People, there's Nephila. Just like we said a little while ago, people forget things. That's normal for people to forget. Torah, you forget things. There's Nephila. There's Nephila in the world. And the key of Nephila is when you see you're failing in something, you did an Avera, or you're not preparing properly, not doing things proper. You feel this, and that causes you to kind of wake up and to rise up. And it's something on your own that you do. And this is the idea. A person should never be happy where they are or free presence. That's not what we're here for in this world for free presence. The idea is there's Nephila, so we can kind of rise up. And this is the idea we're building. We get out of Pesach and we're supposed to build to get to Shavuos. We leave Mitzrayim, we have no mitzvos, and we have 7 weeks to get to a place where we can get the Torah, be totally pure to get the Torah. And how do we do that? Hashem gave the world these seven traits, these seven midos. There's Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, Ho, Netzach, Yisod, and then Malchus. And we are transforming ourselves. The world has seven midos. Marinaim says the world was built on 7 days, seven midos, but not just the world. Each person's olam katan. Each person has their own measurements of ava. People have gevura. People have anger issues. Tferes, glory, netzach. Try to uh, win over things. Invincibility, yesod, connecting things together. Every person has these ideas, and ideas to try to transform this. We know an interesting phenomenon. My friend Yossi Friedman mentioned in our Chabura is you see the guys who go to, let's say, Eretz Yisrael, these guys who come in really, you know, I don't know, bouncing off the walls, let's say that. They come back from Israel and they're just on fire the other way. They kind of flip out. They say, that's the term flip out. The girls, they flip out. The boys, go to Israel, they flip out. Because some people have a passion. Some people just have this passion. It's negative things, which, Hashem gave you this passion. And that passion you have for negative things, that can be channeled for Torah in Hashem. Someone who's kind of parav, you're parav. But someone who has this ava, this passion to do things, even if it's bad things, it's not the end of the world. Because a person at some point hopefully realizes I could channel what Hashem gave me into something positive. And this is kind of what we're trying to do. And those people that really, start off as teenagers, the ones flipping out, freaking out, and doing all these horrible, wacky things, those are the guys sometimes they become rabbis, they lead, suck organizations, they lead cube organizations, and those guys have the good stories. Oh, I did this when I was 20, but now I'm here. You hear all these stories. Esha Torah has these rabbis that have these wild pasts and what they're doing. You need this, and that's what we're trying to do. That's the 7 midos. That's the 7 weeks we're trying to get to. As we move from Chesed to Gevura, first week was Chesed. Again, Chesed from Hashem, Ahava, love, inspiration, wanting to do things, new projects, learning something new, giving more tzedakah. Then we go to Gevura, which is more discipline and structure. As we know from past experiences, it's hard to just live on inspiration. Great ideas are a dime a dozen. I want to do this, I want to do that. But without structure, without a game plan, these things fade away, unfortunately. Fire burns out. A flash in the pan, as they say. You could, you want to do the marshmallow thing. You want to cook and hot dogs, whatever. A fire's not going to help you. It's good for a few minutes. You need the charcoal. You need the coals. Got to kind of plan how you put in the twigs and the logs and that kind of thing to keep it going for a long time, to cook for a long time. These weeks, we kind of go a lot to these traits we kind of focus on. And we kind of look ourselves, we kind of read Pirkei Avos. We start this week. And also the parashos are kind of lined up also very similarly, is that as we kind of move from week to week in the Pirkei Avos, we go week to week in our midos in the parashos. This week, let's talk about in a second. We talk about preparing for Matan Torah. We talk about Shmini. Shmini is this gift from Hashem. The 7 weeks, 7 days of preparing, motion on, preparing for the Miluim, preparing. All of a sudden, day 8 is this beautiful gift that we worked on, that Moshe Aaron worked on, prepare the people, daven for it. And the eighth day, the fire comes down. Fantastic. And this is now um, something that we prepared for. Everyone's passionate about it. Opening day of of the Mishkan. Everyone's excited. But there's one little problem. Another one of you. They had this passion. Everyone had this passion. And they tried to jump into the fire, literally, and they got burnt. Meaning there's this passion people have, but without a structure, a game plan, they did too much. They did too much. Every person has a place. You know, Korach had a place. We'll learn in a couple of months what happened to him. People have passion for things, but you kind of have to know your boundaries. Some people have passion for uh, their friends' wives, doing chesed. But there's limits, there's boundaries of what you could do for a friend, what you can't do for a friend. Sometimes we want to do too much, but there's boundaries. We got to learn boundaries. We got to kind of balance this inspiration and passion with structure, and also to kind of keep this on a working model. Too much, too soon, it dies out. You want to kind of build this area. And that's kind of really this idea of what Pesach is. Pesach is this light that's given to us, but without working on ourselves, it goes away. We don't really learn anything. And it'd be sad to kind of say, well, we have Pesach was great. 7 weeks we'll have Shavuos, which is great. It's really two different things. Pesach we get from a gift from Hashem, and the Torah we have to work on it. Yes, Matan Torah, we got the Torah, but it's only after 7 weeks, without really a game plan of how to achieve this. Shavuos is going to come and go, just like Pesach, sometimes comes and goes. And there's a famous Ramban that says that Shavuos, the Sfiras Omer, is kind of this Cholamoid that ties a piece together. Pesach is, we're kind of like really low. We didn't have too much going for us. The Malachim said, we're also over the Avodah Zarah. Why Hashem save us? And we get to the point where 7 weeks later, we are like Malachim. No death, no sin, no ailments, no sickness. And this transformation, it's all on us. How do we approach it? Are we going to sit back and just kind of focus on that? We can't listen to music. Sit back and focus that we can't shave, and we can only shave on Rosh Chodesh, not Rosh Chodesh, Yom Ha'atzmaut. We don't. Lag Bomer. That's not the most important part of Sphira. Most part of Sphira is how do we get back to this higher level? This Pesach was great, but that was a freebie, and we have 7 weeks to kind of get up to there. What can we take upon ourselves? What can we learn from these parashos? What can we learn from the avos? And from there, we can kind of get things together and really prepare and use the 7 weeks, 6 weeks left, in a really productive manner. And with that, Shabbat Shalom.